First of all, again, I just want to welcome you to the program information session for our photography program. We are very pleased to speak with you today. And my name is Dorita Pentesco. I work in the marketing and recruitment department at Niagara College. And I am joined today by Stephen Dominic, who is a professor and the coordinator of our photography program. And he will be, as you will see in a little bit, or perhaps you see it in a little portion of your screen, that he is actually in our photography studio at the Welland campus, which is so great to be able to get an inside look at that studio. We're also joined by Lindsay Dyer, who is one of our students in the photography program, and Lauren Leonard, who also works on the marketing and recruitment team at Niagara College. So we are pleased to be with you today. Before we get started going through a couple of the slides, I want to do a land acknowledgement. Niagara College acknowledges the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and acknowledging reminds us that our great standard of living is directly related to the resources and friendship of Indigenous peoples. So again, welcome to Niagara College's open house. A couple of housekeeping items that I do want to go through that are displayed on this first slide. The first is that the deadline to accept your offer of admission is May 1st. So if you do have an offer of admission, please keep that date in mind, as that is the deadline for accepting your offer. We also want to highlight that there are many programs that are still open for our fall 2021, winter 2022, and next spring 2022 intakes. So if you are considering other times of the year, fall, winter, and spring intakes are also open, and you can go on the Niagara College website to see what programs are available. If you have any questions through the session, please use the Q&A feature that is here in the Zoom link. So if you go to the bottom, you will see Q&A, click on that box, and you can put your questions there, and we will answer them through the session, and also have a Q&A period at the end of the session. If you have questions throughout the day as you're experiencing the open house, please go to the Niagara College website, and you'll see the live chat feature that's on the bottom right hand of our website. And so you can just launch that live chat and have any of your questions answered throughout the day. We also encourage you to stay in touch on the open house website, and you can join us for a college exploration session. You could book that for a future date if it's more convenient, take a virtual tour, etc. And today we also have our Student Services Ask Me Anything sessions. And those are drop-in sessions that are happening throughout the event. And you can find those links on our open house website. And you can just click on the link and pop into those sessions. It's very casual, very informal. You just pop in and you can ask something, or you can hear what other people are asking. We are also doing recordings of all of the sessions today, and they will be available online after the event. Sorry, I'm just going to click to the next slide. One of the things that I want to also talk about today is the fall term, because we know that a lot of people have questions given the situation with the COVID pandemic. There are questions, you may have a question about the fall term and what that might look like for Niagara College. As Niagara College closely monitors our current and projected public health measures, vaccination rates and other factors, we are anticipating a significant increase to on-campus learning for the fall 2021 term. At the same time, the health and safety of our students, staff, and faculty is a top priority, and any courses or program elements that return to campus will comply with all public health measures and directives. Please continue to watch the Niagara College website. Updates will be provided regularly as information becomes available, and the delivery status for all of our programs will be posted in May, so that you can see what will happen in terms of on-campus learning, hybrid or online. The most up-to-date and accurate information regarding college applications the most accurate source of information for college operations and program delivery information can be found at this web link at niagaracollege.ca/COVID-19. So we encourage you to stay up to date on that. And it is important to, as I said, we will follow all public health measures, and we encourage you to monitor the status. And so with that, I will turn it over to Stephen Dominic, and who is our coordinator and a professor in the photography program, and he will take us through the next few slides.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Dorita. And thanks everybody for joining us this morning. Like Dorita said, it's not too bad a morning here. It's always a great day in the studio. That's where I am this morning. I'm in our teaching studio, which is really an incredible teaching learning environment. The program itself is about 11 years old now. So ordinarily we would take in on average 40 to 45 students. And it's a little less now with COVID, but I think that's going to be very temporary. So you can see a little bit of our studio behind me and some of the lighting gear. A lot of people we recognize that take the program have never been in a photography studio before, much less a teaching learning studio. And some might find it a wee bit intimidating, but I can assure you that we have had graduates from this program that have never been in a studio that get to learn how to use all of these great lighting modifiers that we have, and they produce incredible work, which I'm hoping to show you as we move along. So Dorita, I'm not sure if we want to move to the next slide or whether we want to move to Lindsay.
There we are. We can now turn it over to Lindsay, who's going to tell you a little bit about what it's like to be a student in the photography program.
All right. Well, I'm coming actually to the end of my college experience this year. I've been in the photography program since 2019, and I'm looking forward to graduating this spring. A lot has happened to me in the last 2 years. The college experience has been phenomenal, and I can talk a little bit about why I chose Niagara College, how I feel supported from staff and faculty, you know, changes with COVID too. You know, things have obviously day to day can change, but things are going really well. The college is very transparent. So they're knowledgeable, keeping us safe and healthy. So I can go a little bit and talk into that for us. So first reason I chose Niagara College is, well, it's local to me. Which is a good thing. Having not, you know, gone back to school. I graduated in high school in 2002, so it's been a long time since I've been, you know, back into a school atmosphere. But having it local was really great. But I've also had many friends attend both campuses, so Welland College and the Niagara-on-the-Lake campus, and have had nothing but positive feedback and strong recommendations from those graduates who are all working in their careers. So that to me was a very positive recommendation as to why I should go to Niagara College. And I just felt comfortable staying in my home, you know, town. So I think that's always great. I love being a student at Niagara College. I love the facilities and the interaction with the rest of the campus and people. Obviously, we have to social distance, but before COVID hit, the camaraderie you feel with the rest of your classmates and students it's strong. You can feel a sense of community and a sense of belonging. Going into college and not even having a friend there, I made friends immediately. Students are phenomenal at directing you if you're lost. Yeah, teachers are phenomenal too. Sorry, a little nervous, guys. So
You're doing great, Lindsay.
So to speak a little bit about the photography program directly, like Stephen mentioned, it's a great studio slash educational environment. So you're learning your photography, your lighting, you're having lectures in the studio, and then you're creating photography in the studio. So you become quite comfortable with everything because you're there all the time. You're not traveling from one classroom to another. It's all there for you, hands-on. Stephen and Grace and Jerry, who are our top-notch photography instructors, are there guiding, answering any questions you have. Very patient, very strong communicators, which to me is very important. So I love that. Being trusted with the equipment too, cleaning the equipment, you learn everything. I feel like I'm world ready, career ready right now, and I'm gonna hate to see myself leave the school. I just feel like I've made like strong bonds, especially with you, Stephen.
Not gonna help your marks, Lindsay. Not that you need any help with those.
No, I'm doing really good, especially for a mature student, I'd find. So some exciting things that happen when you are in the photographer program are the trips that we take. Back last year, right before the pandemic hit, we were in New York for 5 days, I think it was.
Yep.
So I was very lucky to be able to get into that trip and participate on that. It's phenomenal. If anybody is here and is taking the photography program and they let you go next year, hopefully, I would highly recommend it. The experience was amazing. It's opened my world and my eyes and it just showed me what I can do in the future. So don't miss that opportunity. I know you guys take field trips too to Toronto and Hamilton, correct, Stephen?
Yeah, we do the Hamilton trip to shoot architecture. We do trips to Toronto to do street photography. In the past, we've taken students to the AGO, to other photography studios. So as you know, there's quite a few field trips that we do when times are normal, and we're expecting those to become normal, hopefully very soon.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Maybe it can come back as maybe a chaperone for you next year.
We have a lot of students coming back. We know when the college was wide open, anybody could just walk in through our doors. We had students, graduates like Lindsay coming in to visit us almost every week. So it's nice to keep that connection. We have students now, graduates on our program advisory committee, who graduated many years ago and have been are very successful now in their own careers. So it's great to see that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I have some jobs already coming my way, and I'm not even out of school yet. So that's a really great feeling.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lindsay. It's so helpful to listen to your experience, and and it's so true what you said about being, that you feel job ready, you feel world ready with what you've done at Niagara College so far. And so maybe if it's all right, we'll move on to Stephen. You can tell us a little bit more about the program, the photography program.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. And thanks again, Lindsay, for being here this morning and sharing some of your thoughts with us. What I'm going to cover is, we prepared a little bit of a PowerPoint. We customized it to make it look like a roll of film, even though we don't shoot film, but there's still sort of an iconic look to film that everybody recognizes as photography. So anyways, I wanted to cover some of the more common questions that are asked at open houses when we do them here in person. Our teaching studio is incredible. 2 years ago, we had a major retrofit thanks to a donation from the Marilyn I. Walker Foundation. We almost doubled the size of our studio. So it's a really good studio. What do we learn? we emphasize commercially viable photography. So what that means is we try to teach students when they graduate, they will know how to shoot a little bit of everything: portraiture, food, beverages, photojournalism, architecture, small products, and we also do large product shoots out on location. We also have business courses, entrepreneurship courses, a course in business practices. Photography has always been and always will remain a self-employed profession. So we teach our students not only the photography end of it, but also the marketing and business end of photography, which is a very marketing-driven profession, no question about that. So some students will always say, do I need a camera? Do I need a computer? Of course, you need both. But Niagara College supplies our students, every year one student receives a camera kit. You pay a tuition fee and then you pay a material fee. And in that material fee, in year one, we include a DX format camera, a couple of lenses, an on-camera flash, really cool tripod, backpack. We've started including light meters for studio use. And this past year, with the upgrades that we've had to all our studio strobe equipment, we are starting to include what's called a studio trigger. And that's basically a device that fits on top of the camera, and it fires all the strobes in the studio wirelessly. So there's no cords all over the place. In year one, we really prefer students to use the camera that they get so that everybody's on the same playing level. That's one of the reasons that we keep the material fee with the camera kit. In year two, if you have a camera that you'd rather use, then, if you talk to each professor, they'll either approve or disapprove of what you're using in terms of gear. The Mac lab that we have this year went online because of COVID, but ordinarily we have a Mac lab that students use right across the hallway from the studio. So we have 27-inch iMacs. We are connected to the cloud. So we have every piece of software that you could possibly imagine. And we have the latest versions, we have the latest versions of Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom, which are the two primary pieces of software that we teach here. Should you own a computer? Well, if you're going to be a photographer, you're going to need a computer. So the question is whether you go with laptop or desktop. It's kind of more of a personal choice now. Personally, I recommend desktop computers. They have a larger screen, and it's much easier to do professional editing if you're going to do your own photo editing. So is the studio open outside of class hours? Yes, it is. We have some year two photography students that come in as technicians or supervisor, and they oversee the operation of the studio. Students can book a set. We have 6 sets in the studio, divided up between 2 very large rooms. I might be sounding a little bit echoey because it is such a large space, but there are 6 sets that you can book after hours, usually right after the last class. Right now, because of COVID, but ordinarily we're open almost all night, and we're open every weekend. So there's a lot of studio time, and let's face it, if you're going to be a professional shooter, professional photographer, it's all about what you can accomplish in the studio setting versus what we do with existing light, even though that's important as well. But not everybody can use the lighting that you can see behind me here. And that's really, really important as a visual professional. So yes, we have some photography competitions. We have what's called, we labeled it the Sick Pics photo competition. It has a number of different categories: portraits, commercial, food, fine art. It's a closed competition. It's open only to photography program students. So every student kind of submits a couple of images into each category. We have, well, we went online with the competition so that we sent all the entries out to a number of different industry professionals who make their choices on a grading sheet. And we select first, second, and third prizes in each category, and then what we call the best of show prize. The year 2 students compete in the portfolio competition. The portfolio competition is sponsored by Nikon. Nikon Canada donates a full frame camera to us every year. They've been doing it now for about 7, 8 years. It's about a $4,000 camera kit, and that's the grand prize for the portfolio. In year 2, students get to select a theme, and they create 10 images, which they also print on 11 by 17 paper. Again, we have printers here in the Mac lab, and every entry is scored. And every year it's getting tougher and tougher to choose a single winner, because the work that our students are producing is really over the top great. It's really nice to see that progression. So we do publish a book, a hardcover book. It's called Inception. We have produced one every year since the program began. Yes, thank you, Lindsay, for holding that up. That was last year's cover. The cover is selected from a year 2 course in professional portraiture. It's a self-portrait, and every student in the program gets a page in the book, and we showcase their work, and it's a pretty remarkable keepsake. It really is a great keepsake for students to have. I think
a lot. It means a lot.
It really is it's a really beautiful publication. I think we're probably the only college that has done this since the beginning of our program. We've produced a book and an archive of student work, and it's just great to go back and see a stack of books in our office dating right all the way back to 2010 when we began the program. So scholarships. Yes, there are many scholarships available at Niagara College, specifically for the arts students. If you have the SHSM seal on your high school diploma, you automatically receive a $1,000 entrance scholarship from the college. But there are a lot of other scholarships and grants that are available, and I would encourage everyone to see the website for the money that's available for everyone. So a lot of students, you know, they get all this gear from us. First week they come here, they get a big tripod, they get all this studio gear, and you know, it's probably gear that you need every day when you're here in the studio, because I mean, it's a photography program. But a lot of times, you know, you're doing a business class or you're doing a Photoshop class. It's like, what do you do with all this gear? So yes, there are lockers. The lockers are available in the vicinity of the studio. There's quite a few of them. And again, if you visit Niagara College website, it gives you complete information on how to get a locker that's close to the studio to make it really convenient, so you're not lugging all your gear back and forth from home or from residence if you're staying here. So, you know, how has COVID-19 affected the photography program? I think everybody's affected. Not I think, we know everybody's been affected by it. We've gone to what we call a hybrid format with our program. Obviously, the gear that we have in the studio, nobody has at home, or at least very few students have at home. So we have continued on with smaller class sizes, slightly shorter classes to give the students the studio experience. Lectures and so on, of course, have gone completely online, as has the Photoshop program, or a course, I should say, the editing courses. We keep it really safe in here. I think we swim in hand sanitizer. We have alcohol sprays, 70% isopropyl alcohol sprays that's used on all the gear before and after. If we have students working on a set, even though our sets are quite large, if you're working in very close proximity, not only do students wear a medical grade mask, which we supply, but we also have them wearing a plexi face shield. So we're keeping it as safe as we possibly can. I think we've gone over and above, even the minimum requirements for as far as safety in working operations in the studio. I think the next slide might have a little more information about COVID and how it's affected us. So field trips obviously are not something that's permitted right now. Lindsay mentioned the New York trip, awesome trip. I've been to New York, I think every year for the last 10 years, except for this year. And our annual end of year show, that's a really glitzy event. We call it sort of the Oscars of the photography program. We have trophies that we give out to students that win the portfolio of the year, for example, that win sick pics. And unfortunately, all of that has been moved to an online format. But that's temporary, and we're hoping to do it again. We stage the end of year show in our auditorium right here on campus. So we fill that auditorium pretty much to capacity every year. And I think that's close to 400 people. So we're really anxious to get back to normalizing things before COVID. So we have an incredible website that we put together as a showcase, an archive of student work. And what we did was we decided to choose the portfolios that the year 2 students create. And if you go to the website, actually, can we do that now, Dorita? It's NiagaraCollegePhotography.com. And
Can you see that all right?
it's not coming up on my screen. I still have that slide. Oh,
Yep, I will just change my share. One moment.
So what's really cool about that website is it's a fantastic archive of student work. So if you go into the menu in the upper right-hand corner, which I can't see because we have pictures of everybody that's here. But if we go to the menu and just click on any year to read up.
Yeah, here we go. Any particular year you'd like?
Try 2019. So if you just go back to Kaylee, so Kaylee, Kaylee Brennan chose to do commercial small products for her portfolio. So as you can see, I mean, it ranges golf clubs, beverages, watches, anything that is a quote unquote small product. And the important thing to recognize is, these photos are all, they are professional grade photographs. I think that, could well be used by a client hiring a student right out of the gate. I mean, the stuff is just awesome. If you go back to Rita, we can select Michael Brunton did food. So with food photography, I did food photography for many, many years, and I mentor a lot of our students with food photography. You can see there's quite a range of food that's produced. Now, Michael was a graduate of the culinary program at Niagara College, and he decided that he was more interested in taking pictures of food rather than cooking. And he graduated a year ago, and he's now shooting food. And just to give another example of the variety of food that we have, if you go back to the menu, Dorita, of the year, it's 2019, and pull up, just scroll through, and you'll end up with, these are in alphabetical order, as you can see. Go to Michelle Sipke's. So it's just a few more down. And you will see that Michelle took the approach, all she did was pastry. The biggest problem with shooting pastry is the students leave it in our office, and I wind up eating most of it. There it is there. I wind up eating most of it, so it meant more trips to the gym. So you can see, this is a very, very different portfolio than what Michael produced. And you can see that it's, I mean, some of the cookbooks you see at Chapters, I think the photography is not as good as what we're seeing from our students.
Sorry.
So, you know, I would encourage everybody to take a look at this. It's a huge website. I mean, you know, we probably range anywhere from 20 to 35 graduates every year. So if you multiply that over the number of years that we showcase here, there is like a huge, unbelievable amount of photography to look at.
The food ones were making me hungry.
They always make us hungry here. So this was an interesting portfolio. Tyler, I think this is Tyler Roussel. He did water. I think his main focus was water. And actually, the picture that's in the middle of the screen right now, and the next one, were winners in the Applied Arts magazine competition. That's something I didn't touch on. We enter the students' work in a big international competition that is sponsored by Applied Arts magazine in Toronto. Now, we had a really, really incredible win 3 years ago. Our students, they select about 10 winners. They don't select first, second, and third because they get thousands of entries. So what happened is they select about 10 winners and they publish them in their magazine. Out of the 10 winners that were selected 3 years ago, I think it was 7 or 8 of them were from our program.
Wow.
And I don't think there is any other college anywhere on the planet. These guys get entries from all the big name schools: Emily Carr in British Columbia, Ryerson, Sheridan, and I was tickled pink to see that. It was just amazing to see that our students did well. And every year we have winners. Every year we have placements.
It is amazing, you know, looking at these product shots. You're so right, Stephen. These could go immediately into a product brochure or advertisement. That's how high the quality is. You know, as someone who's in the field of marketing, I've seen a lot of, obviously we deal with a lot of photography and going into brochures and things like that. And it really is amazing, beautiful work.
Yeah, thanks, Dorita. And you know, we're really proud of all our graduates. You know, we have some graduates that are working in the wedding and portrait market. We have graduates that are working. We have one graduate that is working in the Netherlands. He actually came here as an international student, went back home, and he's working for one of the world's biggest ad agencies right now as their chief photographer. Guy's work is absolutely amazing. If you click on Lishi's portfolio, the one in the middle, Lishi won portfolio and with black and white portraits, and these were really an amazing collection of portraits. He really had a great variety of characters that he selected for this portfolio. I think he did way more than 10.
And really seems to be capturing the different personalities and emotions. Each subject is different, isn't it?
Oh, completely. And Lishi is from Taiwan, and he moved back. There he is there at the very end. He included himself in the portfolio. he moved back to Taiwan, and he's doing extremely well. Just a great talent.
That's great to see. Did you want to show anything else, Stephen, or should I move back to the presentation?
You know what? I mean, I would encourage everybody. I mean, there's so much. We could probably sit here and look at this website all day and not cover all of it. There's so much. There's so much there to look at. You know, and I think, you know, the important thing to really differentiate here between a website like this and something like Instagram. You know, Instagram. You kind of, you know, we're also accustomed to scrolling through Instagram vertically. And you'll notice what we did was we chose a horizontal format rather than a vertical scroll to differentiate this from Instagram, because this is certainly not Instagram. Instagram is certainly a very important and useful social media. But when you go onto a website like this, I don't think there's very many websites like this that show graduate student work from a visual arts program. And we're really, really proud of it.
Yeah.
Proud of all our graduates.
It is, it's beautiful. And there is certainly so much here. We encourage everyone to go on. Lauren has put the link to this website in the chat, as well as, you know, it was on the presentation slide. So encourage you to click on it and go through all of the examples here, because you really get a sense of what our students are learning and the skill that they're graduating with, and that you too, as as you join the photography program, you would join obviously this league of very qualified and elite photographers. So I will just go back to my presentation, just so that we can, in case there were some other points that we wanted to cover. All right.
I think that might have been the last. Oh, yeah, this is an important slide, of course. If you have more questions, please email me. You know, I monitor my email on my cell phone, which, like all of us, is always with us. And if I'm within cell range, I'm pretty good at answering right away. So if you do have a question and you don't want to ask it now, or you prefer to ask me later, simply send me an email, and I'd be more than happy to respond to you.
Which is so nice, and that is such a hallmark of Niagara College, and really, you know, I think all of our students will say this about how accessible professors are. And so by Stephen providing his contact information here directly, we do encourage that. Students reach out to their professors all the time. And as Lindsay mentioned, you know, she mentioned her professors by their first names. That's how close they are. And it really is part of the Niagara College experience. And you don't get that at every institution. And if that's, you know, and it's so important for you to feel connected, and you know, it really helps with the success, your success in the program. So appreciate that. So just as an ending slide, but then we'll have more conversation and Q&A. Just want to remind you again that the deadline to accept your offer of admission is May 1st. You know, make sure you note that down and get your confirmation in, and become a part of the Niagara College family, as we refer to it. And we really do feel and as a part of the Niagara College family. Reminding you too throughout today to drop into one of our student services Ask Me Anything questions sessions to speak live to a staff member. If you have any questions about financial aid or questions about how to apply or how to confirm your offer, you know, you can drop into any of those sessions today. As well, I will highlight that at 11 o'clock today, we do have a live Ask Me Anything session with Niagara College's president, Sean Kennedy, as well as the president of our Student Administrative Council, Tom Price. So great opportunity for you to pop into that session at 11 o'clock. The link is on our website, the Open House website. And you can talk directly to the president of Niagara College. Again, that's what a close family we are, that you can speak directly to the Niagara College's president, as well as to the president of the student council, and with any of the questions that you might have about us as a college. That's at 11 o'clock. Recordings of all the sessions will be available online after the event. So we have been recording this session, and you will be able to see that recording after the event. So now I don't know if we have any other questions in the chat. I don't see any right now, but I know I have a couple of questions since we have a few minutes left, if that's okay, Stephen and Lindsay.
Of course.
All right. So one of the things I know from working on campus, I work at the Welland campus, and I often see students who are taking pictures on campus. So they're all over campus, because you mentioned the studio, and it's so great to see the studio as well. But can you maybe, Stephen, if you could start, tell a little bit about what kinds of projects, or when I see them on campus, what are they doing?
Well, yeah, certainly we, particularly pre-COVID, we had a lot of campus activity indoors. So some of the projects that they would be shooting on campus would be, we have a beautiful campus, so of course we send them out to shoot architectural detail. Sometimes we'll set them out on a themed assignment to shoot a theme. One year we gave them the theme of reading, so that they would, photograph people reading, more of like a documentary photojournalism approach. I don't think we did anything, Lindsay, with you guys on campus.
We did some, you had us do some fundamental design, contrast, in laws of contrast we went out.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I teach everybody's favorite course called Design and Composition Fundamentals.
My favorite.
And it's a visual thing. Everybody has their own idea of what looks good and what doesn't look so good. It's very subjective, but there are iconic standards that we have to adhere to in the photography world. So the project Lindsay is referring to, I believe I sent the students out, and they had to photograph something that looked like it resembled the rule of thirds, or something that was on the same color theme, or complementary colors, and then things like what we refer to as contrast. So students would photograph or create a photograph on campus that would illustrate the difference between small and large, for example. And these are all very important concepts. They're really simple ones. And a lot of times when we see a commercial photograph or a commercial advertisement, even on television, regardless of if it's done on a still camera or in cinematography, the principles are all the same. And it's really important to understand them. So yeah, the campus is it's phenomenal. It's huge. There's all sorts of things to shoot on campus. So we take advantage of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's so true. And you had mentioned that even with this last year of COVID, that we have still been having some classes on campus in the photography program. So, and that they're happening, and we're taking all the safety measures. So seems like it, regardless of what state we're in terms of the pandemic for the fall, seems like the photography program has adapted, and we will continue to adapt and be able to give that hands-on learning in the fall, depending on public health, but really that we're ready to adapt to whatever measures may be in place.
For sure. Adaptation is the name of the game. There's no question about it. I think that, let's face it, this pandemic can't possibly last forever. We're going to see a resurgence, for example, in the wedding market. And I think any graduate photographer that's looking for weddings, I think there is going to be a huge demand for wedding photography when this all blows over. Similarly with headshots, what real estate agent or professional doesn't need an updated headshot? And I think everybody is so tired of just staying at home that I think I really believe there's going to be a huge demand for professional photography when this thing blows over. I think the graduates, particularly now, the graduates that are going to be leaving us in April next month, and the people that we're going to be seeing in September for the next 2 years here as students are going to be really on the cusp of a huge demand.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And I really, appreciate your insights on that, Stephen, as to what the career prospects and how things are changing, even as and how they will evolve out as we come out of the pandemic. And really, it seems to me that students can, graduates can go into a number of different fields if they want to. And as you showed us in the examples, it could be product photography, but it could be weddings, it could be taking portraits of people. So, and you could probably work for yourself. You could be your own, sort of your own small business owner as a photographer, or you could work for an organization or an agency. So that's interesting to hear about all the different fields that there are.
Sure, absolutely. And that's why it's so important for our program to, have such a diverse selection of courses. So yes, the focus is creativity, photography, and learning all of this gear. But there's also the business end of things, which is just as important as what you're seeing behind me here.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, any other questions? Lauren, do we have any other questions in the coming from any of the participants? No. Okay.
No, not right now. No.
All right. Thanks. Thank you. So then I will give sort of the last few minutes or last word to Stephen and Lindsay before I wrap up. Lindsay, any last words that you want to give to people if they're considering this program?
Other than just go for it, be open. Everybody is available for you. Take advantage of emailing your professors with questions and just get knowledge, because knowledge is going to create a future for yourself. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity and the education provided by Stephen and Grace and Jerry and all the other professors. So I feel like I got a really well-rounded education at Niagara College, and just go for it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Stephen, any last words?
Well, I really welcome everybody in September. Those of you that are watching this, if you've already been accepted, really looking forward to having you here. If you're still, considering Niagara College as one of your choices, boy, I really think this is the place to be. Like I mentioned previously, the program is a decade old now. We've seen a lot of students come through this room, probably over 450 students. And, I really think that in combination with the facility that we have, and the instructors that are here, every instructor, including myself, has been in the industry for well over 30 years. We all started when we were 5. So, but we have a wealth of experience that we can share with students in a facility that, in my opinion, is probably one of the best you're going to see for sure in Ontario, if not all of Canada.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. State-of-the-art facility. You're getting the best possible education from, instructors who were photographers themselves and who have such a deep and wide range of experience. And you're joining a Niagara College family, and you will graduate with the skills you need to get the career and the dream that you're looking for. So great, absolutely true. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Stephen and Lindsay, for explaining more about the photography program at Niagara College with us. Thanks, Lauren, for assisting. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And a reminder, confirm your offer by May 1st. Don't miss out. If you are, you have an offer of admission to photography, you don't want to miss out on that. As well, there are Ask Me Anything sessions happening throughout the day today that you can join with any remaining questions that you have. And don't forget that in a couple of minutes, 11 o'clock, you can join our Niagara College president and our student administrative council president in an Ask Me Anything session as well. So thank you again. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of your day at Niagara College's Spring Open House.
Yeah. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.